Hello, this is AN24 News Round, and here are the major headlines. ASU aims at suspension of strike. Anonymous asks Nbc'S Twitter account. Americana series adaptation puts on indefinite hold. The news in details after this break. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved resumption for federal civil servants below grade level 12. This was announced Thursday by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 as part of the latest relaxations of restrictions in the third phase of the national response to the pandemic. The chairman of the task force and secretary to the government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, however, advised chief executives of the various ministries and agencies to ensure a system where the workers will alternate their presence at their workplaces. He also announced the commencement of outdoor sports and activities such as football, but he affirmed that despite the latest relaxation of restrictions, the country is not yet ready for full reopening. The Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU on Thursday has declared that varsity lecturers are ready to go back to school, hinting at the possible suspension of the prolonged strike by the union. The ASU president, Professor Biodun Oguyemi, said this at a meeting between the federal government, led by the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, and ASU leadership. He said that members were willing to resume because it's a matter of national interest, as they also had children at home, like all other parents who have their children at home due to the prolonged strike. The official Twitter account of the National Broadcasting Commission was on Friday hacked by a group of people identified as Anonymous. The verified Twitter account was hacked in support of the ongoing NSAS protests. The hackers who tweeted in support of the NSAS protesters pledged continued support for the movement. The country has since last week witnessed demonstrations in different cities to demand an end to the Special Anti-Robbery Squad accused of extrajudicial killings, harassment, kidnappings, extortion, and intimidation. Israel's parliament voted Thursday in favor of normalization of ties with the United Arab Emirates after a marathon debate with over 100 speeches lasting more than 8 hours. A total of 80 lawmakers voted to approve the U.S. brokered agreement, with 13 from the Arab-led joint list. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the historic agreement will bring Israel closer to other countries in the region to sign other peace agreements. Netanyahu said Israel had contact recently with another country in the region for the first time, but did not reveal its name. The UAE in August became the first Arab state to establish relations with Israel since Egypt in 1979 and Jordan in 1994. It was quickly followed by Bahrain. The U.S. broker deals were formalized at the White House on September 15. And finally on the news, the anticipated series adaptation of Chimamanda Adichie's 2013 novel, Americana, has been put on indefinite hold due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Production for the HBO Max series was originally billed to kick off earlier this year, but the unannounced date was pushed back due to the pandemic. Co-showrunner Lupita Nyong'o then reportedly dropped out as it conflicted with other scheduled projects. Lupita Nyong'o and Danai Gurira were to serve as executive producer of the now abandoned show. It was to star Uzo Aduba, Corey Hawkins, Zachary Momo, Sireni Oyenosi, and Nyong'o, who was to play the lead character, Ifemelu. Nyong'o confirmed she secured rights to the best-selling novel back in 2014, and in 2018 revealed plans to adapt it to a series instead of a feature film. The novel follows the story of Ifemelu, a Nigerian-born woman who moves to America and must grapple with the realities of race, cultural diversity, and love. And with that, we've come to the end of the news round on AN24 TV. Thank you for listening.